All right, we should be live. We are live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. This is Malcom Reed, HowToBBQRight. Y'all know it. No, we're here going to go live tonight and talk about some of my favorite things: football, food. I know everybody may not like football, but I'm sure y'all like the food associated with tailgating, football parties, and all that good stuff. I got my buddy Mark Williams here with me. Mark, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, it's a good Wednesday night. I ain't gonna complain at all.
We got some wings on the grill. Mikey's in the background, done cooked us up 2 different kinds of wings. He's going to come on and talk about those. Shell's on the mic. She's going to be answering questions back in the chat room. Tyler and Jacob are over here moderating on the board, making sure things go right, because this is our first time on the YouTube channel to go live, right?
Yes, sir.
We've done a few of these on Facebook, and I think we started last year doing some, and we'll probably do some more this year.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of a special one to us, because if you guys don't know, if you can look down right where I'm pointing, we've got this little bar here that talks about the Palmer Home. The Palmer Home is a local organization that helps out kids in needs in our backyard, and you know, they're kind of our charity of choice. We try to help them raise money for these kids, and we've got a Feed a Family campaign going on. And, you know, we just wanted to bring awareness to it. If any of you guys want to support us or help out the Palmer Home, we greatly appreciate it. There's information in that bar where you can go and help us. But
real quick, let's talk about our event that we're holding.
That's right. See,
First
that's
weekend in
the
November.
most important thing about, well, the kids are the most important thing about raising money for them. But what we're doing to give back to some of our listeners and our people that help support us is we've got a little contest going on with this fundraiser where we're going to do an actual, I guess it's going to be football centric because football is going to be on the TVs that day. But we're inviting the top 5 fundraisers and a guest. Each of them gets to bring a guest to our headquarters here in Hernando, Mississippi, to the shop. They get to see behind the scenes, and we're going to do, what are we doing, Mark?
It's good old-fashioned pig picking.
Old-fashioned pig picking. If you had never been to a pig picking and you want to come check it out, go ahead and get to raising some money for Palmer Home, because this one's one you don't want to miss.
I wouldn't necessarily call it old-fashioned because cooking a hog in 6 hours, I don't think that's old-fashioned.
Well, Mark has specialized. He's been up hanging out with Outlaw, Mr. J. Craig himself, and they have built this hog cooker that's an offset stick burner. Mark, go ahead and explain the what do we call it? Hogzilla? What does he call it?
The hoss.
The hoss.
No,
Big
that was
hoss.
Look, that was the hardest part, trying to name this thing, because like everything you think of to look at it, you're like either A, the name's already took, or it was not appropriate, one of the two. So, but no, it's a offset stick burner. The cook chamber, I would say, I don't know the exact measurements, but it's pushing 12 foot ish. And then, of course, you got to offset with the firebox on the side, but you're able to shovel coals underneath it, and that's what speeds the process up. So you get all that old-fashioned flavor, but in the speed of light, just about, you know, cooking a 150-pound hog in 6 hours.
So that's the way I learned to cook hogs. You had basically a brick pit, usually a little smokehouse built around it. My family comes from up in McNairy County, West Tennessee, and that's what they did. They cooked hogs in these brick pits where the fire was underneath the hog, and they shoveled the coals around. It's kind of that Carolina style blended over into Tennessee. And there's nothing like the flavor of pork smoking, juices dripping down on some coals, and what it does to the meat. And that's what y'all duplicate, or what Jay duplicated in this new pit. And we're going to bring one down here to Mississippi and cook a hog on it for everybody. And it ain't going to be just a hog. We're gonna
We're going to try to hurt you.
No, we will. It ain't no try. We will hurt you.
I mean, hey,
We're going to roll out the red carpet. We're going to drink. We're going to eat. We're going to eat lots of different types of food.
There's going to be a lot of these gold tops.
Maybe if they're into it.
Maybe some brown water. A few Bloody Marys in the morning.
But if you are interested in coming to our pig picking the first weekend in November, click the link below and find out about this Palmer Home campaign.
Have you looked up the football schedule to see who Ole Miss is playing that day?
No, I haven't yet.
We need to do that if you got time during this.
Okay. Oh, well.
I'm excited to know.
I've got a list of questions already. You want to jump right in?
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what we're here for, to answer questions.
First, let's cheers everybody real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Cheers if you're in the chat with
If
the
you're in
gold
the
top.
chat room, grab a cold drink. It don't have to be leaded. It could be unleaded, but cheers to everybody.
Heck yeah.
So, real quick, one of the first questions I got is, how do I keep my barbecue chicken quarters from drying out while smoking them on the grill?
Crank that temp up, cook them hot to where that fat will render underneath the skin. It'll keep that chicken moist and juicy. And chicken quarters are one of the easiest things to cook. I run them at least 300 degrees on the smoker. Now, you might not think you're smoking, but you are at that temp. And it's going to change your chicken game once you raise that temperature up a little bit.
You're able to render a lot more of that fat, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes them chicken quarters so good.
That's what makes them juicy.
And then I got Michael Anafils. What's y'all's favorite college football team?
The Rebels.
I almost wore the shirt today.
I know that's a contentious thing because I know Shell's a.
We don't talk about the team down south.
Casey actually said Ole Miss plays Bama the first weekend of November.
Oh,
So that'll be a great game.
oh,
That'll be a great
that's
game.
going to be a good game, man. The Rebels got them this year. Captain Lane's got something for them.
So Mitch wants to know, do you ever separate a point and a flat on a brisket? And
Always.
cook them separately?
In competitions, that's when we're cooking them on Outlaws. That's the ticket, man.
Always have.
I've used to when I cooked on my old hickory, I would cook a whole brisket. We'd trim it down, of course, but I'd leave it somewhat attached. I'd make it, when I'm saying it's somewhat attached, it's hanging on by a couple inches because we would separate it after the cook. It bought me a little insurance having that flat with that point underneath it somewhat during the first part because my old hickory's moving a lot of air. It's hard to do just a flat on one because there's so much air circulating. But in these stick burner pits or even in a drum smoker, we'll cook just a flat. I mean, I like doing them like that.
I mean, even if you're cooking for, at home, cooking for a group of people, it gives you a little bit of a bigger window as far as your time because it's going to cook a lot faster.
On the Outlaw, if I'm cooking at home, I trim them up there. I do it more Franklin style. If it's a brisket for eating, I don't mess with separating them because I think you lose so much. I mean, I like that meat. There's nothing better than that midsection of a brisket where you get some flat on top of some fat on top of some point.
Some good eating.
That's a good piece of brisket. That's the fatty lean slice. And, some people like just the lean. Some people like just the fatty point, but I like that fatty lean. And that's a great slice of brisket for eating at home.
Scott says, Mark, just wanted to say thanks. Let you know that your video on bacon wrap donut holes were a huge hit.
Hey, that's tailgate all day.
That is a
Oh,
tailgate
God.
video.
A morning game, if I had them when I was going to the Grove, it'd have been a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
But they're quite delicious, and I appreciate it. Cause
Man, you know how simple those are, too? It's
microwave bacon.
Yeah.
You're not even having to cook it.
and
Walk through
get
the
cooked,
steps,
pre-cooked
Mark.
donut holes. Go over that one real quick.
And that was a fluke for us to eat. We were just joking about it. And, we were up at the shop. We were going to do bacon wrap Saturday at the store. And so I was like, well, heck, let's do bacon wrap donut holes. Why not, So I went to Kroger and just happened to, I was like, well, I know regular Wright's bacon. There's no way you're going to get that done in time of nuking a donut hole.
yeah.
So bought the microwave pre-cooked bacon because it's still pliable, but it's cooked. Wrapped them up, put a skewer on it, and then right at the end, finished with a caramel sauce. Game changer. It's so good.
So what I started doing, if you don't want to buy the microwave, cook that bacon. Like if you got a flat top, you can get it done. It cooks it. Don't cook it all the way crispy. Cook it to where it's still pliable, just when it
And
starts
greasy.
to brown and greasy. Get it patted off with paper towels. Get all the grease off of it. Let it cool down where you can handle it. Then wrap it around your donut hole. Skewer it with a toothpick.
And it has to be a yeast donut hole, not a cake donut.
Oh, really?
To me, I'm not on the cake donut. I can't. That's not a donut.
I don't even like that.
That's a poorly cooked pastry.
I feel like
all
it
that
would get
is.
soggy
Yeah.
if you were using the cake donut hole.
I'm
with all
just
the grease.
yeah. I call them tractor tire donuts. I don't like those too much.
All right. So coming in from Adolfo Morales is good smoked brisket still achievable on a pellet grill, or will it lack smoke flavor?
Do the
Delicious.
watch the overnight pellet brisket video. I have fooled so many people with that brisket thinking I cooked it on a stick burner or on a traditional style smoker. That brisket, the no wrap overnight brisket on a pellet grill will rival anything. But I'm keeping those temperatures so low the whole time, it's making it smoke. See, that's the deal with the pellet grill, right, Mark?
Yeah. I mean, it's lower temperatures. You're not burning near the pellets, and it creates more smoke, more flavor. And to me, it kind of slows some of the convection down too. I know the fan's still running, but it's like not as aggressive of a cook, I guess you'd say.
And it's just something about it. You can't get that in 8 hours. So if you're cooking a brisket to get done on a pellet grill in 8 hours, you've got to have it up 275.
And
You're
I
just not
think
going to get it there. At that point, you're not going to get the bark. You're not going to get the smoke flavor. But down around, now I'm talking 200 to 210. That's where I'm like on the
high side, you know.
Yeah, on the high side. That's how I do it. And it even gets that meteorite look, the same look that you'll get.
I think it's a lot of it is just like me when I'm cooking, you know, as bad as it's supposed to be, you know, cooking ain't looking. You're always going to be tending and looking and piddling. If you can put that dude on before you go to bed, you don't worry about it all night because you asleep.
Yeah,
and then you get in the morning, you got a fine brisket.
Gulf Coast Smoke is joining us too. He said,
What's up?
He said to try the plate ribs overnight as well. Same method.
Yeah,
so.
they do. The big 3-bone, dino bone ribs, they're the same way. I cook them just like a brisket anyway.
Yeah, identical.
And they're phenomenal.
Any of your
melt in your mouth.
Yeah, any of your big cuts on a pellet grill, slow it down. You know, it's them pork butts y'all do.
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
bring up here to the
Same
office.
way
They're so good.
Same way to do it. And there's no fuss, no muss over it. You just season them, put them on, let them go.
Have you done a Wagyu brisket overnight yet? Like that?
Yeah, I have. Dang good.
I have as well. It's super good. Kyle from the chat says, "Hi Malcolm. With the rising cost of groceries, can you please suggest some cheaper cuts of barbecue?"
I mean, I would
We
say
did a flank steak today, or was that a flat iron?
flat iron. But I mean, for barbecue, I mean, it's hard to get cheaper than a butt.
Yeah.
That's bang for your buck. You're going to feed 15 people easy.
If you're going to go for beef, man, find you a good chuck roast. And, I mean, it's not going to be 100% a brisket, but it's pretty darn good.
That's dang. Yeah, I mean, poor man's burn ends. You can't beat them. And this chuck roast, I love a good smoked chuck roast. And, I mean, you know, barbecue bologna. Hey, I'm in the South, brother. I love eating me some bologna, and you can't hardly beat a good, you know, scored up, rub it when it opens up, gets that good color on it, glaze it real good. That's some fine eating. I mean, you know, you've always got chicken quarters. Chicken quarters are on sale just about all the time. You can usually get a 10-pound bag of them for less than $10. I mean, that's a good option. Pork loin. The only deal with pork loin's great smoked, but you got to watch it. If you overcook it, it gets so dry and has no flavor. But, you know, it's a blank canvas. You can brine it, you can inject it, you can do all kinds of stuff to it.
Heck, do the picnic. You know, just picnic by itself, they're always dirt cheap.
That's right. There's some great options out there that don't break the bank. But shop your sales. Wait till they put meat on sale. Put it in the freezer, and you know that's what I do a lot.
What'd you say briskets were at Kroger today?
Our Kroger had them for like $2.40. They didn't have any. They were $2.99. They marked them down in the photo. I don't know what's wrong with these cows because I hadn't seen
Missing a
brisket
leg.
cheap in 2 years. But I got calls from everybody. Man, Kroger's got briskets $2.99 with your card. And so I went up there today, and they had the sign, and it was $2.49, but they were smooth sold out. I even asked my man Steve in the back. He's like, "Man, I ain't got any more. We got rid of them." But they had family pack wings because that's what Mikey's cooking tonight. Regularly $22 with your card. He got a pack of wings for $8.52.
Wow.
14 whole wings for. I mean, I ain't seen wings that price in a while. So hey, I hope that means we're getting some relief on some of this stuff. I don't think it's just our area. I think
Heck yeah. I see a familiar face in the chat. Make It Mojo said, "I wish I could think of something cool to say, but I'm at a loss for words with all the awesomeness on my screen."
I don't know.
I got some words for you. Mojo Smash Burger. That's where it's at. If y'all
Did you watch the one today?
No, the last one I watched was that whiskey where he did the whiskey and the onions.
I know the guy you got that idea from.
Man, that was a heck of a burger. He made us one in Arkansas. That was last weekend.
Yeah,
like
it was so
forever.
good.
One of the best burgers I had in the week.
That's a good football food.
Heck yeah.
Smash
I will
burger.
say Mojo has the best burger recipe under 2 minutes. He released it today. Y'all go check it out.
Really?
I think it was 1 minute and 52 seconds. And I was ready to eat the screen.
I'm trying to talk him into do HowToBBQRight. These guys said, "Jay, you can just take that, do all burger, just one channel. You can still do the same Making It Mojo, but go ahead and just devote some time to nothing but burgers, a whole burger channel."
Y'all probably already bought that domain, have you?
I don't know if Shell has or not.
Somebody better,
HowToBBQRight.com.
y'all better get on it off camera.
Matthew asked, "What temperature would you cook jerk chicken thighs on a pellet grill?"
I'm still going 300.
Yeah, at least.
I'm 300. I'm marinating them, seasoning them with some jam and jerk, getting them on there, rendering that skin out, hitting them with that sauce at the end. Man, this is some good stuff.
Did you try the jerk chicken dip we made up here? Yeah, we did when we done the.
Oh, did you go to Walmart?
No.
Walmart has. Have y'all seen it? It's a burnt end dip.
Oh,
And
Shell
it
want me
is
to get that
supposed
today.
to be the bomb. I've seen. Well, you know, everybody on TikTok's talking about it. It's all the rave. So
We're
it
gonna
got me
have to
thinking,
review that.
I'm gonna have to wait till I'm doing the recipe.
Oh,
Jack.
we doing it.
Burnt end. That's gonna be one of my football food recipes. Burnt end dip.
I'm gonna say I just don't even. I'm sorry,
How can it not be good?
because all I think of is in the cold section, and all I can think of is
Oh, mine's gonna be hot. I ain't doing it cold.
I'm saying all that old just greasy. When I think of burnt end, you let it get cold, it gets waxy because
Yeah,
it's so
yeah,
fatty.
yeah.
In a dip, I'm sure it's great,
I
but
don't know. I want to try it. I wish we'd have had some here tonight to try on camera.
This is kind of a good one. Fafi the Bomb says, "What's the most expensive meat you've ever cooked, Malcolm, and were you nervous?"
Yeah, and I would. No,
I know
we
which
weren't
one I'm
nervous.
thinking.
We weren't nervous at all. How much did we pay for that? It was a A9 ribeye that we cooked.
it wasn't that bad. It was right at 700 maybe.
Yeah, $700
Oh, was that
for the
prime
whole
rib?
ribeye.
I got to
Yeah.
try it. Wow, that's crazy.
It was fantastic. it was really
It
unbelievable.
was.
That was like a treat. Me and Mark did a video on it. You can watch it.
I mean, I wasn't nervous because it wasn't on my channel. It was on your channel.
I wasn't nervous. I was just hungry. That was one of the finest prime ribs I ever ate in my life.
Travis asked, Malcolm, what do you think the Vikings record will be at the end of the year?
I'm gonna go. 10 wins, at least.
That's good. That's good.
At least.
So you're saying a
10.
playoff
Conservative
appearance?
10 playoff appearance. I mean, so everybody told me that this was going to be the Lions' year in the North. And I don't know if y'all been watching Hard Knocks, but I wouldn't bet on the Lions not one time.
Oh, that coat.
Man, he's a crazy man. But yeah, no, I got faith in my Vikings. We got some talent. It all hinges on a running back. If Cook stays healthy, I mean, we got some good receivers. We got decent quarterback. I wouldn't hurt my feelings if they got rid of him. But
I ain't believing y'all got me talked into doing fantasy football. And what was even bad is your boy sent me the invite. Of all things, a kid sent me the invite to fantasy football knowing he's finna kick my teeth
that's
out.
what he said. He said, I just want to beat Mark Williams.
That's been his goal.
Hey, I'm going to be in Minnesota. What day is that? October the 8th?
10th. Yeah.
10th? Vikings playing the Bears. We're flying up. We're going to go to the game. Never
I
been.
think it's the 9th. The game's on the 9th.
Yeah, I've never been. If anybody's got a lowdown on a good tailgate spot, y'all send them my way.
We got a couple questions on tallow. The first one is the first of all, how long will it last in the fridge?
I've kept it a couple weeks. I mean,
Yeah, it'll last longer than that in the fridge before it goes bad. If it's airtight, it's good and clean. Like you're talking about, you made tallow or you
That's-
bought it.
What I'm
I'm thinking make it.
I would say
because the
month or so. I wouldn't be
bulk's gonna
scared.
have an expiration.
I'm
date.
sure it probably lasts longer than that.
I'm gonna tell you, once you make it and put it in the fridge, it ain't gonna last that long because you're gonna put it in everything. It's delicious.
It's meant to be, kept for a while.
Yeah. Someone asked, they've got a tub of Wagyu tallow. Is it worth using?
Yeah. As cologne. Just dab a little behind your ears when you get out of the shower. Just put it in your hand, warming up body temperature, dab it. Chicks will be flocking you by
Go to the club.
I did
Love
save
it.
some of that we made, and it will do the best fried egg you've ever had.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Harley Smith says, Malcolm, have you ever made burger patties out of ground pork? He calls them the Pig Mac.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
I like that, but yeah, I have. I mean, you can't beat it. It's a good old pork burger. Actually, Compart they still sell them. They sell them pre-pattied. They're froze, and it's the flavor of it. It's got the Compart that Duroc meat's got so much fat in it too. It's like eating the Wagyu of pork, and so it's just, you can't dry it out. The flavor, it's just fantastic. It's rich. I mean, is it as good as beef? Didn't I do a combo with it, Shell? A beef and a pork double stack?
No,
or
a
something like
longer
that?
time ago, you did a pork patty and beef bacon.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a flip flop. That's what it was.
I'm gonna have to add that to our TikTok
Yeah.
list. Pig Mac. I like that.
Pig Mac.
I like that.
Would he mind if I use that in the video?
Let us know in the chat.
Ask him to send me like a picture or his recipe, whatever he's doing. That way I can give him some credit.
Heck
I
yeah.
might have to try that one.
And then Bourbon for President says, "What's your recommendation on smoking fish? Like which fish takes that flavor on the best?"
Man,
I'm scared of that one.
that's one thing that I'm not an expert at all. I'm not gonna lie. Smoking fish. If I had to say something, I would probably say catfish. I like smoked catfish. I like making catfish dip with it. I like making tacos with it. But I mean, I'm just not a. I've smoked salmon, and it's not my jam. I've smoked trout, and I'm just not good at it. I don't guess because it's just we didn't grow up smoking our fish. We grew up frying fish.
I think too a lot of it.
I mean, I like it grilled. I like it blackened. The best salmon I've cooked to date, and I did a TikTok on it today. Tyler tried it. He can vouch for this. I've been doing it a few times. I call it air fryer steakhouse salmon, and it is jam up. I hadn't messed it up yet, but it just does not translate to a grill or smoker. It would a grill because that's where I got the idea from. Was from Como Steakhouse. They do a version of a grilled salmon. Oh, Mikey's got the wings.
First round.
We got wings.
Bring them on in, Mikey. Don't be shy.
So I'm gonna ask one quick question. What's some good non-meat tailgate items for the smoker?
Dips, jalapeno popper dip. That's first one that comes to mind. Non-meat, Bloody Marys. You can't put those on the smoker. Veggies are good on the smoker. I like potato. We do it potatoes. What's the little potatoes we do where we skewer them and we put the little chimichurri herb on them? And
we use that alfragonis. Yeah.
Alfragonis chimichurri.
The
Coat them in olive oil and then roll them in that. Put them on the smoker and let them get soft. You can skewer them to where they're easily eatable at a tailgate where you don't need utensils to eat them because it's just these little new potatoes. I like the little Yukon Golds.
They're a big hit.
What is it you do on the skewers? The mozzarella, tomato?
Oh, like a little caprese?
Yeah, like a caprese skewer.
Yeah.
Those are good. They're not. I really don't know if you smoke that.
You wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
That's
I thought it was just appetizers.
Yeah. Non-meat appetizers. Yeah.
Can y'all show those wings to the chat one more time?
Yeah,
Hold them up to the camera. Those look
those up. Oh, they're fantastic.
divine.
Try not to
So what are those wings?
first. Well, tie
Mikey,
for first place.
this is my. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. The wing man himself, Mikey Dyer. Anytime we need a wing cook, we call him in. He shows up every time. He can either, if you need somebody to take one for the team, he's that guy.
So,
Come on, man.
What do we got here, Mikey? What do we got?
The ones closest to you. The ones closest to you are hot honey gold.
Oh, that's
and
a
the ones
special.
closest to Mark are going to be just like a medium or a hot buffalo.
So which one? I want to know. Tell us about the hot honey gold. Is that the one that wins the contest?
Yeah, that's the one that we got the perfect score on in Memphis in May. And
This year, perfect
This
score,
year.
Memphis and May.
That's right.
Was
That's
it
the
first place or second place?
I wound up coin tossing and got second place.
But it was a first place wing.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, me and Mikey went and got wings at lunch, and we didn't see nothing that looked like that.
Get me a plate. So go ahead and tell us about them, Mikey.
So the hot honey gold ones are usually seasoned. Those we put them on the grill, running about 300 to 315 degrees.
what do you season them with?
Oh well,
He don't want nobody to beat him next year.
that's
so.
right. I put hot rub on the hot honey gold, a little bit of Mississippi grind, and
I was gonna let them cool. I feel the heat off of them now.
and I mix up my own honey gold hot sauce. We cooked them about 300 degrees for. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes. Depends on the grill you're cooking with. Pellet grills usually take a little longer, but a charcoal grill will get them done a little quicker.
Son.
They good?
They look good.
Yes. That is a fine wing. That's got the hot honey gold. Honey gold's been a Memphis. Like you go to any wing joint in Memphis, and they usually have hot honey gold. But they're usually fried. Nobody does them on smoker or grill. And it's kind of like honey mustard meets vinegar sauce meets wing sauce meets dry rub flavors. Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah, the ones we do on the grill. Yeah.
And they are fantastic. What was the other one? Just regular?
Yeah, it's just a regular buffalo. It's
Ow.
a buffalo sauce I mixed up.
What's my level? What's my heat level?
Boy, yours? That's probably hot.
Oh, really?
No,
Hey, now me and Mark, we're Hot Ones Challenge guys. So
I ain't saying we won it or beat it.
Oh, I didn't beat nothing.
Somebody was asking what happened out the smoke.
Yeah, we
A
out it.
good wing.
If y'all didn't know, the Hot Ones video is my magnum opus, so go check it out on Out the Smoke. It's great.
Man, I don't know which one. Mikey, this would be hard to judge.
All right, I'm gonna roll this one because I've seen this one a few times, and this one's kind of a challenge for you both. Do y'all have a great oven method for cooking baby back ribs for people who don't have a grill or smoker?
I do. I mean, I really run them about the same way. I mean, you don't really have to worry about starting them out on a rack and wrapping them. You can go ahead, get a little color on them first, in the oven, but then get them braising. Because that's basically what you're doing. So I put them, season them up, put them in a pan, get your liquid in there. You can put your butter in there, all that, cover them up, get them tender. You still got to cook them to the same doneness. You're still looking at, 198, 200 degrees. Take them out, get them out of the liquid, let them dry a little bit. That's when you want to season them. Turn your oven on broil and don't put them on the top rack. It's going to burn them quick. Keep them on the lowest rack in the oven, but put your oven on broil because you want some top heat. And then let that go for just a few minutes to dry them out. Put whatever sauce you're going to, and you can flip them too. You can do both sides, dry out both sides, just, a minute and a half, 2 minutes tops. Both sides, take them out, put your sauce on there, and then let that sauce start to caramelize. That broiler from that high distance will start to bubble in and bake that sauce on. And they're edible. They're not, the worst wing or rib you've ever had. They're pretty good, but are they as good as something you're going to do in a grill or smoker? No.
I would say definitely season them a little bit heavier. To me, they go
Kinda
flat in the
bland,
oven. Yeah.
My
Definitely use
mom-
a good smoked paprika to add a little bit of that flavor.
My mom cuts them up and does them in a crock pot the same way. And then when she takes them out of that once she gets them tender where she wants them, she takes them out of that crock pot, seasons them, lets them dry out in the oven the same way, sauces them, does the same. A big pan of ribs. They're already cut up into 2-bone pieces when you do them that way. Man, those are
So Scott asked for some.
Y'all want some wings?
Yeah, we're fixing.
Yeah.
I'm like Mark. I'm gonna let him cool.
They're not. They're not too hot.
So give some football appetizers that you can make when you have time to prepare, like things that you can prep ahead of time that cook really easily. Scott was asking.
Brown sugar chicken skewers. That's one
That's a
that's
good one.
super easy. You can prep them, do everything ahead of time, cook them game day. The game day chili dogs I do. Of course, you can make the chili ahead of time. It warms up good. Then all you're doing is cooking dogs and putting those together. Let's see, what's another one that I like to do ahead of time? The moint balls. All you do is prep. You take a frozen meatball or a fresh meatball, wrap your bacon around it, skewer it, stick it in the refrigerator. The next day, you're popping them on the grill or the smoker and cooking them till the bacon gets done, and then dunking them in sauce and setting it. All these are quick cooking things where you can enjoy the game. You can even prepare a bacon explosion the day before. If y'all, that's the ultimate tailgate thing to show up with. It's basically a sausage fatty where you take 2 or 3 pounds of sausage and you kind of get it flattened all together and flattened out on some plastic wrap. Stuff it with cheese, whatever else you want to put in there with it. I got a recipe on it. Roll it up to almost like a log or football shape, and then make a bacon lattice and put that over it. And do all that before. Wrap it back up with plastic wrap. And the next day you can put it in the oven, on the grill, on the smoker, whatever you do to cook it till the bacon's done and glaze it. That's a pretty easy one to do.
Everything we mentioned has bacon on it.
It's football, man.
I was going to say bacon wrapped tater tots or bacon wrapped pickles. One of the two.
Pickles are a good one.
That don't tell you
Those are
doctor
easy.
dip would probably be
The
really
dip,
good to do. for
any
tailgate.
of the sliders, like the
You can prep
pizza
your meat ahead of
sliders,
time. Oh, those sliders.
the little
yeah.
chicken sliders. You can cook that chicken ahead of time, warm it back up the next morning, build your little sliders. Any of those that you've seen us do, what do you think the best one is?
You've done
Partial to the pizza rolls.
Yeah.
Pizza rolls, yeah.
You've done
pizza
ham and
rolls.
cheese, and
Ham and cheese, the Philly cheesesteak ones, all of those are
That was really good.
amazing. Even
I like the jerk sliders you done last
Yeah.
year for your party. It was good.
Yeah.
those are good. Yeah,
They're spicy. They were good though.
what's y'all's opinions on shotgun shells? They're a new trend going around.
seen them, hadn't tried them.
I hadn't tried them. Looked like a lot of work.
That's on my to-do list. I just hadn't done it yet.
The pasta is like interesting to me that you would cook that like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can do no bake lasagna where you don't boil the noodles. So you're not boiling those. You're just stuffing it in a hard shell, right?
Yeah.
Wrapping it in bacon and cooking it. I'm guessing
good.
fat on the bacon is what's softening that shell up so much. I got to try them. I just hadn't done them yet. I know Matt did them this week on TikTok, didn't he? I think I saw him.
Yeah, he did. Eric Adams says, how do you keep smoked ribs from getting a rubbery texture because he's been having trouble?
Rubbery.
Yeah.
To me, if they're rubbery, they're probably not fully rendered. They're probably
Right there.
cooked a little too hot. They need to be backed off a little bit and go a little longer. Like go to that probe slides in them. Now we've kind of slowed our ribs down. Sometimes they're going up 208, 210 sometimes. You know, that magic number is 198, 200, but sometimes a slab of ribs just doesn't get there. So you got to keep pushing them. Don't be scared to took me a while to learn this. I was always a wiggle the bone guy, bend test guy. I wasn't a, internal temperature in a slab of ribs until I started doing it. Now you don't catch me cooking one without a thermopin checking the internal temperature.
I put a probe in them and leave it.
Yeah, Mark even bought these little. Where'd you get those little short probes?
Was it Fireboard?
Yeah.
A little bit like they're like an 1.5 inch probe. They're teeny tiny, and I just pick the middle slab, go right between the bones, probe it, and you can call it cheating, you can call it whatever you want, but it takes all the guesswork out.
The deal with that is, so when you unwrap a slab of ribs, you take it off the pit and you unwrap it to check it. You're breaking all that pressure you built up. So it's going.
You just threw 30 minutes on the cook.
Yeah, on the cook by opening it up. If you put that probe in there like Mark's talking about, run the wire out there full, or out the wrap, you can still monitor it without even opening your door. You're not even opening the cooker, so you're watching it the whole time.
What we've learned, or what I've learned, is like you think when you're wrapping the ribs that you're going to speed that cook up, but you're really slowing it down. You can cook unwrapped ribs in 4 hours easily.
Sure.
And
You're powering them.
Yeah, you'll keep watching. Like once you probe those ribs and get them wrapped, the temperature will drop on them 15, 20 degrees sometimes before they pick back up, and then just let them, cook to whatever doneness. I'd say if you're cooking 205 or not 205, 250, you're going to be in that 205 range, 200, 205. If you're cooking hotter, it's going to go up further to get the right texture.
Travis wants to know Malcolm, if you have any advice for Mark on the fantasy football draft.
Take kickers first, followed by defense.
Where'd I get my water boy at? What time do you pick him?
3rd round.
Kickers and defense are what wins championship.
I told you who I was going to pick.
Special teams.
Grab 2 of each. While you're
Two
When we
backups, you never know when your kicker's going down.
I'm going straight out the gate.
Been my
Chipper
strategy
Jones
for-
and Mark McGuire. My first 2 picks. I got it. I'm not worried. I'm gonna win.
You don't give help to fantasy football guys in your league.
Jaden Serta, what is both of y'all's most memorable barbecue fail? Didn't work out.
I'm going to say salmon that tastes like cat food to me. Had to be. I'm telling you, it's my nemesis. And Shell, you can attest to this. I've cooked some horrendous fish. I've tried tuna and screwed it up. I've done salmon multiple times. I've never messed up a piece of catfish in my life.
Catfish King. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say,
What's the worst thing you think you've ever?
when I first learned to start smoking, I got a master built for Christmas, and I done. It's 2 fails in this one. I'm gonna pick the worst eating one. This one was actually edible, and it was horrible. But I done whole chickens, and I done watched all these people on TV, soak their wood, and man, I burned a quarter wood in a propane smoker.
Oh man,
And you might as well eat a bag of Matchlight, because that's about what that chicken tastes
was
like.
it soaked mesquite at that?
Oh yeah, mesquite. That's what they use in Texas. That's what I was going to use. No, it was terrible. You couldn't even eat. I mean, you pull the skin off, and the bones would just look like old burn up cigarette. They were so smoky.
I did. We were doing a video one time. I was going to do smoked cheese. Remember this, Shell? And and it was like way too hot to be smoking cheese. But I said, I'm going to do it anyway. And when I had it, I had my grill all lined out. I think it was a pellet grill with like a smoke tube in there. And I was running the pellet grill. I don't even know if I had the pellet grill on except the fan, and had the smoke tube in there. And I had it just right. I was like, I had a grill full of cheese. I came back and I had it on racks, and it was just cheese melted, filled up. It was one of those Yoder smoke, those little red, what was those little 480s, that YS 480 I used to cook on. And I covered the deflector plate. It done went through the grates I had it on, the upper grate, the lower grate. That smoke tube, I guess it had put off so much heat in there. It wasn't wintertime. I think it was spring or summer or something like that. I shouldn't have been smoking cheese, but I learned quick. And the next time I did a video is when I did the video and I had an ice pan under it. I learned that if it's going to be above certain temperatures, you put an ice pan under the cheese and it'll do it. But I messed some cheese up bad.
I can remember some bad ones.
That was a pressure washing. Took a while to clean that mess up.
You don't fail, you learn.
That's right. There are no failures.
I remember the Yellow
You either
Kitchen.
win or you learn.
Remember a pretty fishy experiment in the Yellow Kitchen.
Football draft, Mark.
What? I'm gonna win. Ain't no doubt.
Sean asked, "What's the best way to trim a butt?"
Go ahead, Mark.
Don't. Just,
What are you doing with it?
Just cook it. I mean, now I take off. Like if you see a lot of times, you get some of them bigger ones. They'll have what do you call them, musk glands that are on the side.
Got that little gland.
Take them off. Usually, if I'm cooking the eating butt, I'm just gonna score the fat, put it on the pit. Yeah.
I take off anything that doesn't look too good, but I don't mind that fat cap on it. That tastes delicious, especially when you score it and it busts open.
Now, if you're gonna try to cook it fast, you're not gonna render all that fat. If you're trying to cook it, 300, 325 and cook it fast. But if you're doing your overnight pellet butt, don't touch it. Just cook it.
Man, no, take it out of the package, blot it off, season it, and go.
I got one from Robbie Autry. He says, "How do you get good skin bite through on your smoked chicken wings?" I had a lot of problems with that.
Ask Mikey Dyer, because I just took a bite of this chicken. That is the softest, most bite-through skin. That, hands down, Mikey, that is amazing.
It's really the same way that you do with your chicken. You cook it at 300, 325 degrees and just let it go up to 200 to 205. Try to get those wings up to that. And then their bite through, it'll come off the bone clean. And your flats will definitely come off the bone clean.
Yeah.
The thing about a chicken wing is it's done at 165, but it is nowhere near bite. The fat ain't even started to render good. So I take it, like Mikey said, up to at least 195, 200, 205 sometimes. And, man, it's just soft and moist and juicy.
Honey Gold got it today. That's a good wing.
I'm amazed at how good those are. Those are really good.
Chris Sapoznik, sorry if I butchered that. I've got a Weber bullet. I get it to temp, throw the meat on, and throw the wood chunks on. Without fail, I'm fighting to keep the smoker at temp. Any recommendations?
It has to be an airflow or something's choking it down or something. Either the vents aren't set right. An easy fix would be to get you like a Flame Boss or a Guru, some kind of air control device where it comes with an adapter that you can put on the grill, and it pulses air to it through a little fan, and it's kind of I wouldn't say cheating, but they're a great tool to have if you're having
You learn
trouble
from 'em.
struggling. Yeah, but I mean, controlling the air is the biggest thing when you're running a smoker. So something's going on to where that fire's getting choked out. Either maybe it's getting too much wood on it, or coals are burning out too fast, or something. But there's
Heck, we've seen situations where you think you're not at temp, but usually them factory thermometers are not even remotely close. You may be well over temp.
That's right. Mikey, you're gonna have to cook these at the pig picking for folks when they come in town. For those of y'all that weren't in here when we first talked about it, part of this reason we're doing this live tailgate football food episode or live broadcast tonight is because we're raising money for the Palmer home. You can look at this banner right where I'm pointing and see that all the information to connect to the Palmer home. But the big kicker is if you help us raise the most money, 5 of you is going to get to come and bring a guest and eat some of these wings from the wingman himself, Mikey. And me and Mark are going to cook a hog, and we're going to have all kinds of good stuff. So I just wanted to throw that back out there.
And we ain't cooking your average hog. We're going to have a hog you can eat the skin on, you can eat the hand, you can eat it all. It don't matter.
From the rooter to the tutor, we're going to eat him.
Probably going to have some special guests. We're going to roll out the red carpet. It's going to be an awesome day here at the shop. We
need gold tops.
Pass me one of them, by the way.
Right, I got you. Anybody? Mike, you need one?
Jay asked,
all right.
baby backs or spare ribs? Which do you prefer?
I used to be a spare rib guy. Do you need a man to open that cooler for you or what?
I don't know what y'all did to the Coleman, but I'm going to have to put the damn Kung Fu grip on him.
I used to be a spare rib guy.
I knew I hit that a little hard a while ago when I shut it. I should have eased it down. Pass one on.
Pass it on over to the wingman.
Yeah. Mikey, I owe you a 6-pack for them wings.
I used to be a spare rib guy, and then when we really started practicing hardcore a couple years back for Memphis and May and cooking loin backs, I got to where I'm a fan. I mean, I like them.
Do I like a strip steak or do I like a ribeye? I like them both. I ain't going to pick. If I had absolutely had to twist my arm, I would pick the ribeye. And so I'd pick the spare rib because I like the fat, intermingled in there with all my lean meat. And I just think it's a juicier. I mean, there's nothing wrong with some, loin back ribs, but a spare rib, man, it's good.
I mean, I like a rib in general.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like you. It's kind of like
You're a ribeye or you're a strip man or filet man?
steak contest ruined me on ribeyes.
Really?
I just got tired of eating them.
Yeah.
I'm a filet guy. I have to do that, you know.
Chris wants to know, it's his first time smoking pork butt and brisket for 45 people. Do you have any tips or tricks?
Give yourself plenty of time, and just when you think you got it timeline figured out, add a little more time.
Yeah.
Because you can hold both of those meats
Several hours.
so long. I mean, that's the biggest thing where people mess up when they're taking on a task of cooking for a bunch of people is you got a bunch of hungry folks standing around. You done told them it's dinner's ready. It's 6 o'clock and it ain't gonna be ready till 9. So
And I mean, I do the same thing for ribs. I mean, anytime I'm cooking a big meat or something that's going to be long, I put it on way early and I'm not scared to hold it. You know, just let it ride.
yeah, that's what I would say too. You give yourself 24 hours on those cooks because they're gonna hold fine.
I think we might have crashed the Palmer Homes website.
Really?
I don't know if that's a good thing.
If we did, that is awesome, y'all. And it would be amazing if we crashed that thing.
No, it's not. We're trying to. It'll be back up, but
We'll keep watching it and let you know.
yeah.
Did y'all get a message or something?
Yes.
What did they say? What did y'all do?
Just
I've never crashed a website before that I know of.
I guess they're not used to it, but we'll get that back up and
Yeah. That ain't got nothing to do with us. It actually, so that's the great thing about Palmer Home is that we don't take this money. This goes directly to the kids, and they're not a state funded. This is a complete
They get no
organization.
government
They get
funding.
no government funding. Every bit of money they have is through donations and events they do, and and that's why we love helping them. Because we know that money goes to the kids.
Very, very good call.
And thank y'all. I mean, for everybody out there that's donating, I don't care what it is. If it's 50 cents, thank y'all.
Crashing the website.
Yeah.
we do have information on our website. You can't make a donation through our
Yeah.
website, but to get the information about everything, it's howtobbbqright.com/Palmer, PALMER.
It's worth it for them.
And eventually that link will be working again.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to do it right now. You can do it tomorrow. You can do it in the middle of the night. It's open. Well, actually, how long is that event running, Shell?
Till
Or
Labor
Labor
Day.
Labor Day.
What temp do you wrap brisket?
I don't look at temp.
Usually when I put my probe in my brisket, it is somewhere between 155 and 165. And you know what it does after I probe it and put it back on the grill? Takes a step back.
Yeah.
It always does. Always does. But then it catches back up, goes through the stall, and then ramps right up.
Usually, I mean, for me, like you say, you're usually, what time you get the color, you're at that temp, like you just said. But as long as the color's where you want, the bark's adhered, I would say at least be before the stall, I guess, kind of.
145, it's going to close off, and you're not really going to, if you're putting heavy smoke on it, you're not doing anything really. It should have plenty of color by then. I've wrapped plenty of them at 145. But I shoot for like that 155, 165 range.
Miss Whitney Hudson's coming in, and she wants to know, when is the blindfolded mayo taste test video coming out?
That's we got to do that with Shell.
Never.
I want to see if I line up 5 different mayonnaises, if you could pick out the blue plate. Do you
I
think
bet
you
she
could?
picks Dukes.
That's the name that will not be mentioned in this podcast.
Whoa, Mark, out of line, get out of here. I feel like if you did it in like maybe not the variation of just a spoonful of mayonnaise, but if you did like 5 different base chicken salads with just chicken, like very, very.
No, see, you
No,
gotta.
you don't understand. You're talking to a spoon licker.
You're gonna look. This is gonna be 2 videos.
That is nothing to her to get some.
I mean, it's nothing for me either. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie. But
So you're getting 2 contents this way. You're gonna see Shell try to pick the mayo with the spoon, and then you're gonna have one camera on Malcolm, and it's gonna be like, how long can he last before he throws
I
up?
always sit there in that garbage can. I wouldn't be able to watch. I'm just gonna take y'all's word on it. I don't like seeing somebody just take a mayonnaise to the face. I don't like it.
When you're smoking something on a higher heat, does a
Why'd your
smoke
voice
tube
get so high?
does your smoke tube add any extra smoke, or is it a waste of pellets?
I've used the smoke tubes before, and I really don't see a big gain out of. There's nothing wrong with them if you like them. That's fine. I think they're great for cold smoking and stuff like that. But when I'm running my pellet smoker, I've had much better luck putting a chunk of wood right on the deflector plate or over in the corner. It'll never catch on fire, but it goes and smolders and puts more smoke on than a smoke tube could ever do, and it's better smoke.
I think too, man. Play with your pellets. Like these wings, Mikey cooked at, what do you say, 300?
They're smoky.
And they got a great smoky flavor.
They're smoky.
A lot of it is
Smoke
the
ring
pellet
in
and
them.
pellet quality, you know.
What'd you run on these? Were these Traeger pellets or Bear Mountain?
Those are Traeger pellets.
Tra-
They were the
Signature?
signature blend.
Yeah. I'm really digging these Bear Mountain pellets we got in the shop now, man. You want to talk about great tasting, flavor, clean pellet? Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. When I first seen a bag of those, and I guess we were in Dallas, wasn't we?
Yeah.
At the World Food. The guy opened the bag up and there was 0 dust, 0 broke pellets. I mean, it was one of the cleanest pellets I've ever seen.
I don't know where they're making them at, but they're good. And man, they're half the price of most pellets. That's one thing. It's one reason why we brought them in. You know, we sell Traeger pellets. I'm a Traeger man. Cook on Traeger grills, use Traeger pellets in my videos and stuff. But Mark started using the Bear Mountains in the Gorilla grills, and he's like, "Man, you can believe how good these run." So it's like we got a chance to bring some in, and it gave the people that shop with us here locally a different price point. To if you don't want to spend that much on a Traeger pellet, hey, you got to have a cheaper option, and they're not a cheaper pellet.
No, by no means.
Don't tell them they got them underpriced.
Raul Films, what do you guys cook in your free time when you're not making videos?
Man, depends on what time of year. We do a lot of wild game cooking. We got our buck junkie thing going, so we're cooking deer, we're cooking fish, we're cooking all kinds of stuff. I've really gotten into cooking air fryer stuff, and I'll tell you what, I hadn't done a whole lot of videos on it yet, but I'm probably going to. The flat top, man, I love cooking on my Blackstone. I've got one at deer camp. Mark's got one that he's got me hooked on now.
A little 17-inch, man.
It's a portable, cooks on the little small propane bottles. If you don't have room for the big 48-inch model, you can buy one of these and set it right on your counter. You bring it inside.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean,
I got a commercial Ventahood, so I mean, I'm fine, but no, I got a freaking $1,500 KitchenAid cooktop, and I'll just sit the Blackstone, $70 Blackstone right on top of it, and I cook supper. But it's convenient. I mean,
yeah,
it's easy to clean. But here recently, thanks to Tyler, I've been cooking more pasta than I have ever before.
because of our inter-office pasta competition coming up.
Down.
That's what we need to do live, like at least the awards.
Why? So you can see Shell. All right, me and Mikey figured it out today at lunch.
Live awards.
Shell done figured out what bowl will only hold macaroni and cheese, and it won't hold nothing else.
I don't want everybody to see Mark cry like that. That's not fair.
I'm gonna tell you, I ain't getting last. That's what we got you and Dustin for.
So Dennis asks, if you had the choice of ceramic smokers between the Big Green Egg and the Komodo Joe, which would you choose?
I mean, I've never cooked on the Joe, but I've cooked. I've got a green egg. I like my green egg. I like the Primo. I like the Kong that Grilla has. I mean, all those cook about the same. I hadn't noticed any difference cooking wise on them. I guess it's just whichever brand you decide to go with, whatever price point you want.
Yeah,
that's the biggest difference in price point.
The biggest thing I see difference in like the Komodo Joe is they do have the accessory market hemmed up.
Do they?
For Komodos? Yes, they have everything under the sun, and they seem like a quality built grill. I've never cooked on one, but
you're not going to go wrong with either one of them.
no.
You got a question?
I can't pronounce the name. I'm really trying to get it out, but I'm going to skip it because I can't. I'm sorry. Do you ever use propane or propane accessory?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, get there.
Blackstone.
Blackstone. My CTO has gas assist on our big old hickory when we do long butt cooks. We'll use the gas assist on it. Now, we always start everything off with charcoal and wood, but we'll turn that gas on, when it's time to wrap and you just need maintenance temperature overnight. They're great for that. I don't currently have a gasser. I used to have a Napoleon. I think I gave it to Pops, didn't it?
Still rolling.
It's still, but that's what, if I had to pick a brand, I'd probably either go Napoleon or Weber. Now, I don't know. We went down to the beach. They had these outdoor models on the condo patio. Were those Blaze grills? That was a bad dude.
We
right
cooked
there.
on them at World Food, remember?
Yeah, that was a bad dude.
And then Phantasmic Chronicles says, does bone-in versus boneless pork butt make a difference? I've heard both sides, just wanted an opinion I trust.
I prefer the bone-in just because the butt stays together better, and it makes me think that it's going to hold more moisture inside it.
I've tried to cook
I
them
don't know if
boneless, and
it's but
they don't turn out as good for me.
to me, it gets drier.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it seems like I cook juicier pork when I slow it down, bone in, and don't mess with it. And I don't even inject them when I do them. I just rub them and run them and let them roll, man. It's hard to beat. try that. If you've never tried an overnight pork butt where you don't do anything to it, you just keep that temperature, 210, 215, and you just let it go all night and don't mess with it. Just don't babysit it. And take it to where that probe just slide. It's going to be done about 190, 195. It'll never get 200 at those temps. And it's just phenomenal.
Todd asked, where did you get the chunks you use in your gateway? The wood chunks.
Those come from a woodman that unfortunately is no longer with us. Mr. Jimmy, I still have some of his wood that I use. It was at smokerwood.com.
That's good stuff.
Other wood, I've used the fruit of wood. I've used some of the other bagged woods you can buy. The only thing you have to watch on some of those, they've been kiln dried, so they took all the moisture out. So they're mainly like BTU wood. You don't get a ton of flavor off those. If you can find you a local wood source, that's the best way to get your wood for, if you're really wanting flavor. And I'm pecan, hickory, cherry. That's my 3 favorite species, and where we live, that's abundant.
Going back to talking about smoking the fish, I think that's a lot of it too. Is we don't really have the wood in our area that's good.
Hickory's a little strong for salmon. I've proved that.
Arthur asked, what's your favorite drink of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one.
All time,
That's a tough one.
man.
What's your favorite football drink? Let me.
It's so hard beating no gold top. If I had to pick now, I would have to go by
time of day
flavor.
of the game.
I'd have to go by flavor because it's how am I not going to say one of my favorite drinks is not just a Jack and Coke or a bourbon and Coke. I mean, if I probably, I love, I like Jack Daniels, but I like Woodford. I like, Weller. I like Bullet. I'm a bourbon man, but I tell you what, a Bloody Mary is one of the finest drinks you can get.
That's what I was going to go
and
with.
And then a margarita at the right time. I love a margarita. And then when it starts getting February, I start wanting rum. I don't know what it is. I start thinking about the tropics, the Caribbean.
All right. I'm going to ask my own question to the chat. Would you rather go to a early morning game tailgate or evening?
Oh, I'm an evening guy. I love them. It gives me all day to pregame.
See, I'm a morning guy.
Get
to me, the food at the tailgate's so much better in the morning.
I like the games where you go to, you get out there and game days on TVs. The Grove's rocking, the band's playing. You got, games come on at 11. You got the 1:30, 2 o'clock games. Then you got the night game. And then at the end of it, the band goes back to the Grove. We've done kicked LSU's tail. And it don't get any better than that. Don't get any better than that.
What's that drink you did on TikTok? Was it the Tennessee Sunrise? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, with the orange juice.
That seems like it'd be
that's
good.
a real good one. That's a good one.
All right, so grilled mark.
I like them all, honestly. I can't pick just one. It's like my grills.
Grill Mark Company, do the charcoal pellets really work and add any flavor from your experience?
They're flavor-wise, you're not going to get near the flavor off the charcoal pellets. But what they do is they burn really well. They give you really good BTUs. They don't absorb moisture. I like them, but when I'm burning them and I want flavor, I cook with a mixture of them. I burn the charcoal pellets. If I'm cooking 350, I'm baking stuff like I do in a lot of my TikToks where I'm using my pellet grill as an extension of my oven indoors. Why not burn the charcoal pellets? Because they're not going to over smoke anything because they're not, it's charcoal.
I've seen a ton of people mixing them.
Mixing them is a great way because you get. I do notice like in my grills they heat up fast. Now they're super hard. You hear that auger working on those charcoal pellets, but I like the charcoal pellets.
Trevor said his favorite drink is another one.
Another one. Heck yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
The first one or another one. I don't like the last one. That's the one that I don't like is the last one.
Pro or college sports? Mark?
College all day.
I couldn't even tell you what pro teams are out there. Honestly, we got this fantasy football, and am I playing for the Braves? Am I playing for the Cardinals? Who's my team?
You can't name all 72 NFL teams.
I can't name 5.
There's no way. I don't believe.
Hey, we got the Titans. We got the Bulls.
72 NFL teams.
No, I could say the Vikings just because Green Bay because everybody knows them.
You've got another
Titans, 49ers. I know all the ones like elementary school. Everybody had the starter jackets. I know those.
What about the America's team you miss?
The what?
Patriots.
Sure.
Just had to throw it out there.
That's the ones that played with flat balls.
So you're like me. You're coming to.
That's the ones that played with flat balls, ain't it? Go ahead, Tyler. I know that.
You're playing fantasy football for the draft food, right?
Yeah, I'm
And watching.
gonna hang out.
There you go.
I don't vouch for Tom Brady anymore.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna beat Michael Reed.
So Rudy Basso was talking about my second magnum opus. You threw out the Impossible Burger in the video, but have you ever had it, and what do you think?
It's horrible. It is horrible. I don't know why anything. Why? I mean, I'd rather eat a mushroom burger than I would an Impossible Burger. That stuff is horrendous.
Like black bean burgers have good flavor.
Those. I like black beans. Don't get me wrong. I never had a black bean burger.
I've tried to eat the black bean burgers, and that is the worst texture you could ever. It's just old pasty, like eating Play-Doh or something. I don't know.
Burger. I actually ate an Impossible Burger. Shell, what did you make?
It was veggie burgers.
It was a veggie burger, and I said that wasn't too bad. It reminded me of a slug burger.
Yeah.
The texture of it, but the Impossible Burger, the one that has the red beet meat or whatever it is, it is not good.
How long would you say it takes for lighter fluid to burn off the charcoal briquettes?
25, 30 minutes.
You got one.
Sorry.
He's still upset because they're playing flat balls. That's all. I done stumped him.
Chris wants to know: do you inject your ribs for comps?
No,
I do not.
do not inject ribs. I know some people do, but
I know a lot of people do.
Hey,
we
Malcolm.
cook a rib so juicy and so moist and with so much flavor, you don't have to inject them.
I don't use TikTok. VNub says, is there a place I can find the recipes or videos not on TikTok?
Yes, Shell, where do you post all those? Not the video, but
Yes,
the
I'll
full
send-
recipe.
I'll send the link. It's actually on one of our websites.
Yeah, we post them on the websites, but then also on YouTube, if you just go in the search bar and search How to Barbecue Right Shorts, you're going to have access to pretty much every single TikTok we put out on the YouTube platform, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and they can get it over there.
Yeah, we
as
have
well.
two other, people may not know it. I guess we have three other YouTube channels.
Yeah, we really push
Because we have the Shorts channel, which is most of the TikTok videos just for the YouTube platform, and we have the podcast that Shell and I do with Tyler, and we have guests come in that too, and then we have our hunting one we're doing now, so Buck Junkies. But it's just a ground. We just started that, y'all.
Heck yeah.
Tad wants to know what's your best tailgating side dish.
Oh, side dish for tailgating. I'm going to throw it out there, and it's probably pimento cheese. And if you don't like pimento cheese, something's wrong with you, because it's the perfect accompaniment dish for a tailgate party.
With
It
pork
goes-
rinds on the side and a sausage and cheese plate.
And hot sauce to dab on top of it, or spicy pickles.
Is there a reason to not just use plain water in a water smoker?
No, not really. You're not getting much flavor off of it. We used to put some apple juice and stuff like that in there. You can't tell a lick of difference. All it is a heat sink.
Ease the cleanliness.
Yeah.
This water is where it's key.
Yeah,
They specifically said beer, I guess. So
yeah. And you're not gaining that much from it. I don't think anybody could tell if you had water or a beer or whatever in there.
Kevin Orr, on the offset smoker, do you leave the fire door open to increase the heat, or does it drop the temperature?
On ours, you don't leave it open.
No, it's got vents built in. I have a theory on this, and Malcolm, you may agree, disagree. Well, I'll get your opinion on it. So, a lot of the Texas smokers that they show, like leaving the door open, they build a huge fire in there. And my thinking of that is, with that door being open, you're mixing hot and cold air together.
So it's not all hot air.
So
going
not
up.
all the hot air is going into the cook chamber. So like on the Outlaws, they have doors that are closed and you got vents built into it, and it doesn't take near a big a fire
No.
to run 250, 300 all day long. And I think you get with those Texas style pits, I think leaving the door open, you get a lot more larger room of cushion, I guess you'd say, because you can build a great big fire and it's not going to get away from you because you're mixing so much cold air in the cook chamber as it's coming across the top of that fire.
And really, it depends on your pit too, because I've seen different ones where you have to have the angle of the nose right, you have to have the exhaust pipe in the right position for the wind. You depend on how the wind's going and how it's going to blow up in there. If you're fighting your fire, that's why some guys are opening them for that reason too. They can't get any oxygen in them. Mm-hmm. And so they're having to move them around, or the wind might be downdrafting away from it, pushing air away from it. So there's times when you may have to do it, but if it's the perfect conditions, you shouldn't have to.
A lot of them pits are designed for that too. It's what the pit's designed to do.
Yeah.
And, you can have a dirty fire of it being a cold fire, but you can have that same dirty fire from a hot fire.
Yeah.
So It's kind of what that pit wants to do.
I never run the Jambo with the door open either. It's just got a little slide vent on the boiler door.
It's kind of interesting. How did the Killer Hogs brand come to be?
Well, the first team that was Killer Hogs was a friend of mine's dad, and that was his hunting camp name. They called him Killer, so they did a little local contest called Killer Hogs, and that's where we started cooking with them. And those guys retired, and we asked if we could take it over, and ended up becoming the Killer Hogs team with me and Waylon, and Shell came along, and we turned it into the KillerHogs.com, and off it ran.
The rest is history.
Rest is history.
Could you explain? Trace wants to know. Could you explain the difference between a regular butt and a picnic shoulder?
Well, the butt is kind of the upper shoulder part of the front leg, and the picnic is the lower. So if you think of a pig's leg, kind of like ours, where from your elbow to your wrist would be picnic, and from your elbow to your upper shoulder would be butt. That's the best way to describe it. It's the whole front arm, though.
That's one of the best descriptions I've ever seen anybody do.
Was
Right
it?
there. Throw that old arm out there.
We still got that Palmer helm thing going. If y'all see it right there in that banner, is their website back up?
No, it is not. Just check. I just emailed somebody.
Make a mental
so
note for tomorrow. See if it comes back up.
But you guys save that link because for real, it should be back up hopefully by
Yeah.
tomorrow if it's not up today, and
Yeah. We'll
be rocking.
put it back out on social media tomorrow for sure, as soon as it gets back live. Devin wants to know, how do you feel about the dirty smoke at the beginning of a cook?
I try to let it clean up before I ever go putting stuff on. That's my main thing. I mean, you want a clean fire, because a lot of that is moisture cooking up through it, making it dirty, stuff burning off whatever fuel source you're using, briquettes or lump or something getting going. There's a chance it could be some chemicals mixed in with it. It's just lower. I guess what happens is it's the fire's not hot enough to burn at the right rate, so it's putting more stuff off of it, and you don't want that on your food. It can make it taste bad. Mainly, it translates to a bitter taste or a chemical taste. So it's best to let it clean up.
Trip 540 wants to know if George Strait is going to be at the pig picking contest for the
Yep.
winners. We're still working on the cardboard.
We're working on a commitment, and I think he is aware. I'm trying to get my people in touch with his people, but
One day he's just going to
We'll
email
have a
one of-
George.
He's going to email one of us out of the blue.
Oh, if he just showed up one day at the store.
just George Strait comes
Just
strolling
walk in the
here.
door.
MG wants to know what y'all's all-time favorite meal is.
My last meal, like if I had to go, it's probably gonna be a whole hog, because it would take me a while to get through that last meal. I'm gonna have to get every morsel of it. I'm gonna savor it. No, one that I get, and I just had it on my birthday. Shell does a ribeye steak. She cooks it herself, seasons it, everything. Baked potato, some asparagus, a little salad.
It was Brussels sprouts that night.
Yeah, but this I'm talking about. My
Okay.
favorite. But you did do the Brussels sprouts.
That was
That's-
second to favorite.
This is really what I like. And then with some good French bread and some little room temperature butter that you can smear on there with a good bourbon drink.
You pretty much hit that one on the head. I would finish that with my wife's salted caramel cheesecake.
Ooh, that's
and that
really
would
good.
you should go ahead and put me in the ground then.
Yeah.
Stevie says, do you have competition on Vice on thinning a barbecue sauce to set a glaze on the chicken?
Thinning it. Heating it up to the proper temperature would be one.
I used to use chicken broth.
Yeah, just a touch.
Jelly?
Apple juice. I've used that before to thin one down. But mainly, it's probably getting it to the proper temperature. I think you get the best flavor out of it when you heat it up somewhat. I'm not talking about taking it to boil. We put we've got a little hot eye that we use, and we'll put a little saucepan on that hot eye and warm it up. If we don't have that with us, we'll put it in a little, aluminum muffin pan.
Taste
on the
it
pit.
at
But
different temps.
Yeah, you want to taste it too, because different heat temperatures brings different vinegar notes out, and vinegar tastes different as it heats up. So, heating that glaze up, that's the important part. You're putting cold stuff on and it's not going to set as well. It's going to get thick and packy. But if you've got it a good temperature where when you glaze it and it kind of runs down a little bit, but it still adheres to the meat, that's when it does the best.
Cooking with Big Cat 305 to Tailgate, what would you pick between a Smoky Joe, a Blackstone 17-inch, or an Acorn Junior?
To Tailgate,
I'm going Blackstone.
right now I probably would. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd probably take a PK too, though.
Yeah.
A PK grill or a little Weber grill, because I can set one of those up for 2-zone cooking. and do some if I needed to do some smoking or whatever. But here's another option, and don't knock this one till you try it. But that little Ranger tailgater, it comes with the flat cast cooktop too. I've smoked a butt on it at the beach. We've used it a lot. Mikey and Tyler, y'all took them and cooked bacon and eggs on them one day. Did a little video on it. But that's a cooking machine for tailgating. And you just need, a little bitty, you'd have to have a generator, of course, to run it a little bit. But I think they make a battery. You can buy a battery pack that'll run it for a while too, don't they? So you don't have to have the generator. So that's a good option.
Yeah. Derek Solentrup ask Mikey if he injects or brines his chicken wings.
Ooh.
No, I don't. You just get them straight out of the pack and usually pat them dry, and then I'll spray them down with a little bit of duck fat or some kind of cooking oil and season them up from there, and just let them get room temperature before I put them on the grill. But I do not inject them or marinate them.
That's one thing that'll make a big difference on your chicken wings, your chicken quarters, even your chicken thighs. Getting that skin as dry as you can and then putting the fat on it and seasoning it. It helps. There's something about that as that it helps. For one, it helps your seasoning stick, but that oil helps that skin almost crisp a little bit and helps that fat render down in underneath the skin. And man, I think having when I learned to dry my chicken first really good before I put it on the pit, it made a huge difference.
I got a good one here. W. Carp says, there's been so much debate lately with regards to bringing steaks to room temperature before cooking. What are y'all's thoughts?
When we cook them at steak contests, we usually put them back on ice. We've gotten the habit of where if we season one up, we'll stick it back in a cooler in a pan and kind of let it sit there and hang out. Really depends on the room temperature. Like if it's 100 degrees outside, I ain't letting that steak sit out because I only want to take it to about 122, 125 anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not, I want it to stay, I don't want it to be ice cold, but I don't want it to be, close to 100 degrees either.
I'll probably set them on
15 to 30 minutes max.
Depends on the steak size too. If it's your normal steak you're gonna eat for supper, 30 minutes.
16-ounce steak.
Now, if you want to do a big tomahawk or one of these monster steaks, set it out and let it come on up.
Yeah, but it's so big. Probably, it depends on. That's a good point there, Mark. Depends on the size of the steak, but your average 16-ouncer, I'd go 15, 30 minutes after I season it on the counter. But I'm keeping my house 70 degrees too.
You cooked a flat iron today. Do you notice on flat irons to where, like, if you temp one and say it says 128, 130, that it looks rarer than what, say, a ribeye does at 128, 130?
I've noticed that before. Just because I've cooked them and thought I screwed up because I took
they cut
132 and it still be medium rare on the inside. I guess it's a denser. A denser piece. It comes out of the shoulder area, the chuck area, so it's a little denser. But
this one kind of goes along with the same thing y'all are talking about. What about burgers? Letting them sweat with seasoning on them for a little bit, or do you just put them straight on the grill?
I never let my burgers come to room temp. They'll fall apart on me, and that's if you ever notice when I cook burgers, and I'll put a little indention in them to where I try to keep them from separating some, but I'll also stick them I'll get them seasoned up, put them on a rack, stick them back in the refrigerator. They're gonna be cold as they can be before they go on the pit or a grill. I think they stick together better. Once that fat, it
starts
ground
melting.
meat. Once that fat starts melting and it wants to separate. So the warmer it gets, the more it's conducive to falling apart. And the more you handle it, the more it's going to fall apart too. So I try to keep them formed. And I like cooking them. If I'm cooking them like a no flip burger or something, I'll leave them on the rack that I'm going to cook them on, set the whole thing on there.
Oh, no flip burger.
Now, if I'm grilling them, a lot of times I'll put me a little piece of butcher paper or wax paper or something on them where I can pick that up, flip them straight to the grill too without having to handle them too much.
Mark's Mississippi Wagyu one is my go-to.
It's hard to beat the Mississippi Wagyu. And if you don't know what that is, you got a pound of ground beef, add you about 2 tablespoons of mayo. And it just changed that burger.
Don't knock it till you try it. See,
does work.
Sometimes I make spare ribs and cut them St. Louis style, just like you and others show. But occasionally I get a weird piece of cartilage I bite into. Is there any way to avoid that?
Cut them down more.
It's probably just when you're cutting down spare ribs, the way that that breastbone kind of runs, you need to back down to that longest bone. It's usually about the second or third one, and then get right on the edge of it and make your straight line and knock them off. Because if you get over that a little bit, you're going to have a ton of cartilage in there. There's
If
those
you,
little
if you
false
look on the
rib.
back side of the rib, you'll see that bone Malcolm's talking about, and it'll almost look like a knuckle joint. It'll be the tallest, thickest one, and if you get right up against it, you'll be able to cut it and go straight across.
But that's the thing with spare ribs. You're still going to get a little bit of that gristly and cartilage pieces, especially down there.
On the
those
little
thin
end.
floating bones. That's just the way they are. You're not, that's just good eats. Gnaw on that a little bit, spit it out, and go on to the next one.
I'll
There's
answer
nothing wrong with working on some of those rib tips. I like a rib tip.
a good like Tex-Mex, just like
Heck
dry
yeah.
season. I'll answer this question. New channel question. Why do you have a separate channel for shorts? Because the YouTube algorithm wants it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's a separate place for you guys to get the content that you guys want to get to your sub box. So, I mean, if you want to that way, you can subscribe to the podcast channel, you can subscribe to the shorts, and you can subscribe to the main channel recipes, and get all the content to your sub box and to your phone, all the notifications and stuff sent the way you want them. So,
Tyler, that's above my pay grade, man. I just do what y'all tell me to do. I fire the girls up and cook. It comes to which channel's which. Yeah, no, man.
John wants to know, can you source a hog small enough to cook on a CTO?
Yeah,
And if
sucklings.
so, where?
I've got a video cooking 2 sucklings on there that you could get. CT, I've seen somebody do a setting up hog on that lower rack, and it was probably a 75-pounder. I mean, I've seen them put them in backwoods competitors, just kind of prop them up. There's a wheel, there's a way. But, I mean, I would, if I was going to do them in there, those little suckling, they're 22 to 25-pound pigs. Now,
You could do a quarter hog, how they split them that way.
You could do that. Shelley, remember where I got those suckling pigs?
We sourced them from the butcher shop in South Haven. He ordered them.
Yeah. I would check with the local butcher first. If you have to get one shipped, I would probably check with Kevin Green down at the butcher shop in Pensacola and see if he's got a connect on ordering them. It's going to have to be special ordered, and man, those things are way more expensive than you would think.
They cost more than a big hog.
Yeah.
I've seen this a few times in the chat. So the Palmer Home website's down right now.
Oh man.
Hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully we'll get it back up here shortly. That's kind of out of our control.
Hey, no, y'all should be proud. We crashed it. We crashed it.
Y'all did good. So many people went to the webpage. It's down for right now. But just keep that link handy. We'll be posting on socials for the next several weeks. So
And you still have several days. We got another week, maybe a little over a week.
Yeah, a little over a week.
Yeah, to
Week
get
and a
that
half,
in. Yeah.
When using a drum, do you notice a difference or have a preference on lump versus briquettes?
I mainly go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
In a drum. There's 2 ways to look at this. So, if you're having trouble with your fire, whether it be not getting hot enough or getting too hot, that would be my first question. So, I prefer to use lump because you can snuff it out pretty quick and you can relight that same charcoal. But also, I found a good friend of mine had a drum, and it was a great quality drum. He just had trouble with temperatures getting away, and he started using briquettes, and he had a lot better control over that fire because it didn't react as quick. So, personal preference, I'm gonna go with lump.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I like lump because I can put it out. I can get multiple cooks if I fill my basket up, and I only cook, say, chicken or ribs on it. It only takes a couple, 3 or 4 hours or whatever for a rib cook. I can put that out and get me 3 cooks off the basket.
Shake the basket out, light it next time.
Yeah, or if I'm, I never have trouble with it, and that's I'll burn lump in my drum, and I'll burn lump in my egg. Those are just when I'm smoking stuff. That's what I'm using in those. Now in my Weber, I'm always burning briquette because I know I can't really put it out. There's no good way to seal it up enough to put that lump out. So
I would like to rep the other channel. You guys did a very informational video on lump versus charcoal briquettes on Out the Smoke.
that's right.
That's really, really good. And I used it several times when making that decision.
So we're getting down to the end of it. So I asked for some rapid fire questions. So I'm going to just
Start snapping them at us.
snapping them out. And
Keep the
you-
answers short as
yeah.
possible.
When will Mark start practicing for the jack?
This weekend. Actually, I started last weekend, had a great cook, and probably every weekend from now on out, I will be cooking.
Yeah, if y'all are at the Jack this year, go see Swine Life. We'll be there.
Not between 12 and 1:30.
Thoughts on the Masterbuilt Gravity Series grills?
Seen them, never used one.
Like it.
Ironwood 885 or RecTech 1250?
885.
885.
I don't know. I've never cooked on a RecTech.
Drums are flat.
I'm sure they're great grills.
Drums or flats?
Flats.
Flats is where it's at
Easy.
Pellet smokers for beginners?
all day.
All day, yeah.
Best way to cook a brisket. We already answered that.
Oh, I think he was asking for a pellet smoker recommendation, but
Oh, pellet smoker for a beginner?
yeah,
Grilla
cheaper.
grill.
Yeah, Grilla.
Yeah.
Silverback.
Best way to cook a brisket in a pellet grill.
All night.
All night, low and slow. Rub it and run it.
Y'all ain't firing them. Y'all gun are jammed
Well, I
up.
was
Wait,
like
Hannah.
sifting through. Sorry. How many gold tops are cold and ready to go right now?
In this cooler?
We have a whole fridge.
I say y'all haven't even seen the fridge.
Yeah, y'all didn't see the beer fridge.
That's why I always say I have the coolest job in the world because there's literally a beer fridge in the kitchen. So
Their gun be
another
jammed.
Hot Ones video.
No.
Question mark.
No, never.
I have no use for
I
that.
had to beg him to
Yeah.
do it in the first place.
Worst mistake ever made. One of the
Yeah.
worst mistakes ever made in my life.
Mark, are you doing any comps before the Jack?
Yes, I'm probably, if I can get the lady to respond back, I'm doing a rib only contest in Columbus, Mississippi this Saturday.
Goat days. Murphy's
Goat
Boro.
Days will be there. Murfreesboro doing the Rib Fest. I go to Indiana and beat them again.
How do you reheat beef ribs the day after?
Best way. I mean, you're gonna have to probably wrap them up, put them in the oven. Unless you want to fire the grill up, you can bring
I say freezer, Ziploc bag, and hot water.
boil them or sous vide them.
I want to do pork belly burn ends. Can I make them on Saturday and reheat them for Sunday?
Yeah, they're
Texture's going to be off.
not as good. You can, but they're not as good. Same
Wood
way.
chunks in the Weber Smoky Mountain under the charcoal or on top of the charcoal?
On top.
On top.
Best cuts for burgers.
Best cuts.
Yeah, I guess if you're grinding your own
Chuck, brisket.
brisket burger
Yeah.
is really good.
What are y'all's thoughts on the La Caja hog
I don't
cooker?
know.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's
It's that
if you like a good roasted hog, it's a
Yeah.
great way to do it, and that's an inexpensive hog cooker for a lot of people. It's not a smoked hog; it's more, it's more of a roasted luau.
That's a
style
box
pig.
like
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
Cajun microwave.
yeah, it's a box. Electric smokers, yes or no?
I'd rather do a pellet grill.
Yeah, I never used one, so seen them. Yeah, I'd rather have a pellet grill.
If that's your only option, go for it.
Yeah, if it's only option, go for it.
Foil boat on a brisket or completely wrap it?
Completely wrap it.
Completely wrap.
Thoughts on Jealous Devil briquettes?
Never used it.
Never used them. My buddy Mike Brinkman uses them and swears by them. They say they're good. Does Jay use Jealous? No,
He's Fogo.
okay. Yeah.
Rank your top 3 pits by flavor.
Pits by flavor.
Drum. Pork, a backwoods, and Outlaw. I'm definitely putting Outlaw up there. Now, Outlaw's probably number 2, actually.
Wait till you get a hog off this house. It'll be number one.
This kind of goes in line with everything we've been doing. Is the VIPP going to be on the Haas pit?
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be Jay's personal pit, most likely.
And
Yeah,
the
Jay
VIP,
is coming. Mr. Outlaw himself is coming to the pig picking.
yeah, just to verify, the VIPP is very important pig picking.
Very important pig picking. And how do you get to come to the very important pig picking?
You've got to help us raise money for the Palmer home.
That's right.
We're
It's not too late to start your own fundraiser.
yes,
And that means you can go on there, raise money however you want to, donate it to the Palmer home, and you get the credit for it, right?
yes. You can have a team that helps you raise the money. You can raise it individually. But the top 5 fundraisers and each of their guests will get invited to the headquarters. We're going to have a VIPP, very important pig picking. It's going to be an awesome time.
I'm going to tell you, last year was unbelievably a good time, and I can only imagine what this year's going to be.
Mikey Dyer's going to be there cooking these championship wings.
Somebody gave me a great compliment last year after our Palmer Home event last year. They said they have been to multiple things. They went to the Marlboro Ranch years ago. They've gone to other things, and they said we did the best job out of everybody.
Because we
of-
tried to hurt them.
yeah, of our hospitality. So
But I'd also like to be the hype man for a second. And seriously, guys, like $1 helps. Every single penny that you guys donate and help us raise money for the Palmer Home for Children is
Goes
amazing.
to a good cause. Those kids, the kids actually get it. So
What are you getting tickled for?
what are you getting tickled for, Shell? Question?
would you rather fight a Malcolm-sized Mark or 2 Mark-sized Malcolms?
You want to play Mercy on camera?
No,
Nope.
but a Malcolm-sized Mark would be a mean joker, man. You wouldn't want to meet that guy in a dark alley.
He's already a
Two
bully.
Malcolm-sized
Who
Marks.
who asked
You
that?
just get a big hug sandwich from two Malcolm-sized Marks. But a Mark-sized Malcolm, man. No, hey, look, we've had a lot of fun here tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in, for helping us out with Palmer Home. I hope we answered some questions and y'all got some information, at least got entertained a little bit. But we will be doing this again, so y'all keep an eye out on the Facebook page, on all the social channels, because that's where, Tyler does a great job putting the information out there. We're going to be doing this. This was our first time on YouTube, and it's been a lot of fun going live on here. So hopefully we can, do some more of these, especially throughout football season. I mean, we just might get on here and talk about how bad Mark's fantasy football team sucks.
You're going to be bad when you get beat by me. That's all I can tell you.
And if your question was not answered tonight, we have our community page,
That's
our Facebook
exactly right.
community. Let's Get to Cooking. You can join that community, and we're all in there pretty active on a regular basis.
And we try to answer these on our weekly podcast too. So y'all tune into those. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, we're on there. Just search for How to Barbecue Right, Malcolm Reed, and you will find that podcast and subscribe to it. And it'll feed it to your phone or mobile device, or you can listen wherever you listen to your podcast. But thank y'all for tuning in tonight, for hanging out with us. It's been a blast, and we will see y'all next time. Go Rebels.